welcome everybody to the Oxford Politics Trove webinar to speak to you about how to use Politics Trove to get the most out of your revision for your exams. So just a bit of housekeeping to start with. I assume this demo will take roughly about 20 minutes and then we'll have some time for questions at the end. So if there is anything that you wanted to ask, there is a chat bar on the side if you just pop a question in and then I can answer those at the end. Obviously, what I'm going to assume is that you've used Politics Trove before, although in previous webinars that we've done recently, we've had a lot of students asking us how to actually access Politics Trove. So I will just cover that at the start. The other thing to mention is that this demo is being recorded. So what we'll do for anybody who wasn't able to make it today, we'll send that round to all of your lecturers and they can put it up on your VLE or somewhere useful where you can view it again if you need to, and other students can have a look at it as well. So let's get started then. To actually access Politics Trove, if you've never been on it before, this is your first time using it and you think, actually, yes, I do need to do some revision for my exams, you go to oxfordpoliticstrove.com, or you may even have a link directly from your VLE or from the library or something like that. And your university has bought access to everything on Politics Trove for you. So what you should see when you come onto this homepage is your university logo here. So obviously I'm from Oxford University Press, that's why that little badge is on there, and it should say automatically signed in. Now, if it doesn't say that, what you can do is sign in down here and go sign in via your institution. So you click on that button and it will bring up a list of all of the universities. You can filter it out quickly there. And then you click on your university and it should sign you in, obviously, if the university has bought access for you. And then you'll have access to all of the books that are on Politics Trove. So once you've signed in and you've got it there, you click on Show Titles in My Subscription, and that will bring up all of the books that we have on Politics Trove. Now, we do have about 35 books which are active. I know here it says 54 books. Ignore that for now because my access does give me access to some of our older editions, which yours won't. You'll just have all of the brand new editions available to view. So when you're thinking about starting your revision, it might be quite overwhelming of knowing what to bring out first. But obviously we want to try and get Politics Trove as a tool to help you with this, and just start looking at those key concepts for each area of study. Now, to find each of your areas of study on here, if you click subject here, it's broken it down by subject area for all of these. And what I'll show you, let's start with Introduction to Politics, because that will be one of the first things you are studying if you're doing politics on its own, or if you're doing politics and IR as a joint degree. That'll be one of your first areas. So a book that you might find really useful on here is the Garner book, Introduction to Politics. And in this book, there are a number of key concept boxes. So all of the chapters are laid out here for you. And I'm just going to click in and look at some of the chapters so you can see what's on there and how you might use that for revision. So let's pick the Freedom and Justice chapter of the book. What you've got throughout the chapter not only is kind of setting out what you should know at the start, but you've got a number of these key point boxes. And that really just will mean that if you kind of pick up on those for all of the key areas that you are supposed to be revising, it will tell you exactly what you need to know and you can test yourself on that as well. In this book as well, there are a number of different case studies and debates, and you can use those in your exams. Obviously, if you do that, you will need to reference them. Anything that's not your work, you will have to reference, because if you don't, then it can be classed as plagiarism. So I'll show you how to reference directly from Politics Trove in a second, because there's a really quick and easy way to do it, which will save you a lot of time when you are doing this. So the key concept boxes obviously are a really great way to get started with what you might need to know. Something else which is quite useful, which we do have across a number of our different books, I'll show you in another book is some free online resources that go alongside each book. To access those, they're here. You click to the side, access the online resources for this title. And these are really useful for exam preparation and just testing yourself again. Now, they accompany most of our books, and you will find them just out on the left-hand side. So it will take you out to another page when you click on that link. And it will have all of the student resources in this Oxford Learning link here. You just click on the student resources once it's done that. And then you can look at those resources by chapter, which all link out to the book. Or the way I think is easier, if you click here, it's got assessment stuff. So you've got multiple choice questions to test yourself. I'll show you what they look like very quickly. They're really good because you fill in the answers when you're using them for revising, and it will tell you. I'll just do a couple to demonstrate. And then scroll down to the bottom, you submit your answers, and it will tell you whether you've got the answer right or wrong. So obviously I've not done very well here. So anything that you did get wrong, it will tell you the correct answer, why that's the correct answer, give you a bit of context, and tell you which page in the book to go back and read up on it. So they are really good resources for testing yourself there. Now, let's go back and just have a look what else there is on these online resources. You've also got flashcards, which I think are a really great way to revise for your exams. So again, you can use those for each chapter. And as I say, each book does have these external resources which you can use for your exams. So yeah, that's what the flashcards look like. So it's just come out of the Politics Trove site, come to this. And yeah, you just click student resources, that's where you'll find them. And then you just click back to get back onto Politics Trove. So as I say, multiple choice questions, flashcards, and exam style practice questions that you can use are really useful for testing your understanding on there. One other thing that you might find useful in a lot of our books, such as the Baylis Globalisation of World Politics book, are a number of end of chapter questions which you can use again to test your understanding and just see what it is that you need to kind of brush up on for your skills. So again, I'm just clicking at random on a chapter. Let's go here, chapter 1. And then you scroll down to the end of the chapter. And here are all your key questions that you can use as part of revision. Again, it's actually got links to the multiple choice questions within the book, so you don't even need to leave and click from the side to get to those. They're all in there. Also, the further reading, if you do want to go that bit further, they are really useful for a bit of extra context as well. Now, the Baylis book does also have a number of web links. So if you click on that, it will take you out to another site. And obviously, depending on how you prefer to learn and how you prefer to revise, as to whether you'll find these useful or not, because there's a number of audio resources, there's videos on YouTube, which I know are very popular, and they'll just give you extra context about what's being discussed in each chapter. The blogs are on there as well, so they're always really good to reference, and also journal articles as well. So there is a lot of stuff on there, depending on how far you want to go with your revision. So that's in the Baylis book. Another book which has some very useful resources is the Karamani book on comparative politics. Now, you can click here and go into comparative politics, or you can also search directly on Politics Trove for a particular book if you think that's going to be a quicker way to do it. So there should just be the one book because you'll just have the latest edition. And the end of chapter questions in this book are split into two ways. So I'll just show you what they look like at the end of each book. So the end of chapter questions in each book here, which you can use for your revision, are split into two different areas. So there's the knowledge-based stuff, which is, what do you really need to know about this subject in this chapter? What is it that you're going to be getting those marks for? And then for those of you that are looking to get the higher grades in your exams, the 2-1s and the first, which I assume is most of you, and that's why you're here at this webinar, you want to look at the critical thinking part of the questions. So, analyze those different areas and think outside the box. And if you can show that you've applied that critical thinking to your study, it will get you the higher marks. So it's really something that's worth working on in these particular areas if it's something that you want to draw into your study. So I say it's very, very, very useful way of looking at your revision. Now, another thing that I'll show you, if you are studying anything around Brexit, which I'm assuming most of you will be covering at some point in your exams, we do have a brand new Brexit supplement in one of our EU politics books, and that's the Beige book, Simon Bulmer, Owen Parker, Ian Beige. So the brand new edition of this book here, which again you can search for in this top bar. We do have a Brexit supplement that comes with it. Now, I've linked out to this on a different part of the page. So it's here, and it says the Brexit supplement is available to download from the online resources. So you can download that and have a read through the Brexit supplement, which will just allow you to brush up on your knowledge between the relationship in the EU and the UK and what's happening there. That was published at the end of last year, so it should be fairly up to date. I've got the Brexit supplement here, so you can just see what that will look like. Again, it's fairly informative. It's quite long, but you can use that to supplement your knowledge and obviously have some of the kind of key references that are fairly up to date from that. So again, it's something that's very useful to help you with your revision. So there's quite a lot of stuff on there to have a look at when you are starting to revise. Anything that you think, oh, this will be a really useful piece of information to include in my exam formats or my coursework or anything like that, what you would need to do is obviously reference anything that you have used. Now, on Politics Trove, you can personalise all of the stuff that you've been searching for or you've been saving and that kind of thing to use for your essays and your exams. The way to do that is to go up to the top corner and create a personal profile. So you'll see it says sign in or create. So to make your personal profile, if you haven't already done this, you go and create and fill out a little form. I would use your university email address to do that rather than a personal one, just to make sure that everything is joined up with the university. And then once you've created it, you go to sign in. I've already got one, so I'll sign into mine and show you. And then it will change to say my work. So you click onto my work, and here you can have all of your saved bookmarks of particular chapters that you want to go back and read. Anything you've searched for, you can save as well. And my annotations is a really good one. I'll show you that now on a book of how to save chunks of text that you might want to reference. So let's look at this security studies book as an example. Anything you want to save in terms of bookmarks of chapters or pages, the save button is here. And if you want to save a particular chunk of text, let's take a chapter. So you're reading through this and you think, oh, this is a really relevant piece of information. If you highlight it, this little annotation button will come up. So you click that and say, useful for exam prep. Save yourself a note of why you've decided to save that piece of work. And then you press save. And now whenever you come back to this, it'll be highlighted in yellow just to make it stand out with your note there. But then to actually find that really quickly, you go onto my work and into my annotations. And then the one that you just saved will be here. This is everything that I've saved in the past when I've been doing demonstrations. So the one you've just saved will be here with your note of why you've saved it. And then to actually reference that and include it in your work, you go here to cite. and you choose the referencing format that your university has asked you to use. Obviously, check with your lecturers which one is best, but let's go Harvard for now. And it will put the format of that referencing into the Harvard referencing style for you. And then you can just copy and paste that and use it into your work. So obviously everything that you do use, you're going to need to reference, but this is a really quick way of being able to do that. So it's a very useful tool. So it's definitely worth creating a personal profile when you are thinking about doing your revision, because it'll just save you so much time when doing that. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you in terms of how to use Politics Trove for your revision. So you've got those key concept boxes in the Ghana book, and you've got case studies throughout every book that you can include, and you can reference them using how I've just shown you. You've also got the end of chapter questions in Baylis and those web links out to the videos and the audio files on the blog. You've also got the online resources for each book, which provide the multiple choice questions, the flashcards, and the exam style questions that are in there. In Karamani, you've got the knowledge-based and the critical thinking questions. For those of you who are looking for the higher marks, take into account the critical thinking behind each area of study. And then you've got that Brexit supplement as well in the beige book to read over and get your knowledge of the developments around Brexit up to scratch. Obviously, anything that you do decide to read over, you can save in my work, so it should all be there for you when you come back to it. That personal profile in my work will never expire. It'll always be there to come back to as soon as you log in. So it is a really useful way of saving the information. So that's pretty much everything on Politics Trove that you can use for your revision. Good luck with your revising and your exams. Thank you.